So we're here, the long awaited video that you all asked for. So as some of you may remember, last week I put a poll up to say, would you like to see how to clean a properly dirty car during the winter, during the autumn. This is my favourite time of the year because it looks so lovely outside. On a day like today, you've got the beautiful leaves blowing, but the roads are stinking and it leaves your car dirty. And there's always something to me, which I don't know, it's like a wee sort of like sense of pride or something when the roads are dirty and all the rest of the cars around are stinking, but your car looks mint in the middle of it. So that's one of the things that I actually love. So this is what we're going to try and show you today. I'm on AirPods, so hopefully the sound's coming through okay. I don't have one of these fancy mics that everybody else seems to have stuck to their head or their collars and things like that there. So bear with me and hopefully the sound picks up. So instead, this day last week actually I put a post up or a poll up on Instagram to ask about would you like to see this here, and over the course of the last week I've done quite a bit of driving. 650 miles almost put up in the Jeep, and it is stinking. It's to the point now where it has been great for me not to wash it throughout the week, but there's no point in doing a half a test. It's easier to show you people how to do this properly. Came to the point, I think Wednesday, Thursday, and my 6-year-old said to me, "Daddy, what's wrong with you? Why is your car so dirty?" So hopefully what I have here is I'm going to show you the products that we're going to use, how to do it. So I'm obviously using IK12. In work here I've got my car, my van, that behind me, the guys who come in give me a hand here, so we're doing a lot of washing here. And this is why I'm using this big IK sprayer. However, you don't have to if you've got one of the nicer, neater, smaller, perfectly suited IK 2.5 or 2 litre sprayers. And these ones here are actually the really cool new ones. These ones work upside down and everything, because if you haven't seen them yet, this tube, this hose, is flexible as opposed to the old rigid ones that they had. So it basically means that no matter what angle you have this at, it's always working. Anyway, we're going to show you how to dilute the product down, because more important than anything else, and I know I harp on about it, but this dude here, he's selling me bottle stuff at 11 quid. My stuff isn't £11, but it would work every bit as well, if not better. So this is the IK12, however we fill it to 8 litres of water. During winter we're using a 30-to-1 solution, so I'm going to just bring this up and show you. We are using, if that shows, 266 mil. Now, how we get that there is simple mathematics. 8 litres is 8,000 millilitres. Divide that by 30 and that's giving you 266. So we know that we need 266 millilitres to go into that, which isn't much when you consider that this is probably the most popular way that we sell it. I said it'd be great to be selling bottles of ready-to-use stuff at 11 quid, but 2 litres of stuff. This will make 10 of these, well, a big 9 of them, but that's a lot of cleaning, and it's not anywhere near that price. The other thing that we have here then is Cleanse. Cleanse is my go-to wheel cleaner. It's non-acidic. It cleans the rubber, it cleans the tyres, it cleans everything really, really well, but it will do about 90 to 95% of the job of a fallout remover at a fifth of the price. Next up then we've got Ultrafoam. So you will see here that I am demonstrating today using the really cool Ava premium foam canning kit. For me, and I know some of you guys don't use Avas obviously, but it fits cartridge washers as well, and I'm nearly sure that you can get an adapter on it. But for me, this premium foam canning kit has changed how I clean cars. We've got one foam cannon which we use with the snow foam. My second one I use the shampoo, and the third one normally I use it with Ultra Gloss. However, following on from last week's Instagram stories where I asked people would they like to have a different size of it, we're just going to show you how easy it is to do. Now, dilutions for these, all kind of, there are scientific ways of working out what your dilution is. That's fill a 1 litre bottle with water, jet it through using your power washer and put it into like an empty container and measure how much comes out. These are all coming out about 20-to-1, so we kind of know roughly the sums, but it's a kind of good kind of way to figure it out. So I've already filled this with water, and we're putting a 10-to-1 mix of this, which is then going to give a 200-to-1 mix. panel to ratio. So that's going to be our snow foam. Now, we then got the shampoo. Now, just because I put shampoo through this doesn't mean this is how I'm going to be washing the car. All this is doing is giving me an extra layer of lubricity on the car to basically keep the panel wet for longer. So we're going to put 2 measures into this here, which is 50 ml into 1 litre of water. I said the only reason we're doing this here is this doesn't be used at anywhere near the same kind of volume, but it basically allows me, when we're washing it, for that extra layer of lubricity, just to keep the panel wet for longer. We give it a shake just to mix it also. Finally then, as we said, normally I use HydroCoat because HydroCoat is a perfect drying aid and it's perfect for adding just a quick bit of protection on the car, but it's not long lasting protection, but it never has been. This is where HydroCoat now comes in, and what we've done with HydroCoat, instead of having it in the 1 litre bottle, or sorry, instead of having it in the 500 ml bottle that we've been selling it in all along, this dilution system is really, really handy. So we're going to come out with 2 bottles for this here. So we're putting 2 measures. So there's 25 ml, and a second 25 ml measure into it. And that's it. We don't need anything more difficult than that there for what we're going to do. This is obviously going to, the difference in HydroCoat and HydroCoat is HydroCoat is a polymer based coating, so it is going to stick to the car as opposed to like the drying aid part of the HydroCoat. This is made to stick to the car. This is made to give proper protection, and you'll see how we apply it on. We apply it on foam cannon, but again, you don't have to. But when I was coming up with this product, having it to be able to work through a foam cannon was one of the key priorities for me, because everything about how we do this here is about trying to make things work faster and more effectively for you. Because if you're like me, the time I used to have to spend in my car, I just don't have that time anymore, and time really is of the essence. So if I can find a system which works really, really well, really quickly, really effectively, and gives me protection afterwards, then that's what we want. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to obviously fill up a bucket with shampoo just to have warm water in it, and you're going to see me doing something different here. A lot of people use 2 wash buckets. I used to use 2 wash buckets, but again, I don't really have, it's not that I don't have, I've worked out a couple of faster ways of doing things and more effective. So what to say in my wash bucket is I'm going to have 2 or 3 wash mitts in it, and basically what I'm doing is I'm going to be alternating my wash mitts all the time. The reason I'm doing that is because I know that when I've done this and this and this, we're going to have at least 90 to 95% of the dirt off the car. So I'm confident in my washing technique and my products that they've done the job, that when it comes to washing the car, I'm not going to have a really dirty wash bucket. I'm going to have a nice clean wash bucket. I've got clean mitts, and I'm going to just keep changing things around. So we're going to go out to the car now and basically do a walk around a bit. So here we go. Here it is in all its glory. So as I said, we've done about 600 to 650 miles almost of driving this week, and as you can see, hopefully here, the dirt is sticking to it. Wheels are absolutely filthy. As I said, I've done a wee swipe test. Flies, dirt, rain, storm, everything sticking to it. Layer of dust, as you can probably see, all over everywhere. So this is actually really key and important, that when we're washing it, that we have to get as much of this here off as we can first. Look at that there. You grow potatoes in there. But we need to get as much of this. Oh, we got some bird doo-doo as well. The whole back, absolutely stinking. But as I said, this is where it's really vital that we get as much of this here off the surface as possible first, before we start washing it, before we put any mitts near it at all, because that is what's going to inflict all the wash marring marks. As you can see, like just a very, very fine layer of dust everywhere. Probably because I was out blowing away with had the leaf blower out earlier on, just trying to get the place sort of half clean and tidy before we get to do this. But yeah, there we go, nice and dirty. Okay, so first protocol when wheels are as dirty as this here, we're going to have to give everything a really good pre-wash down. So this is where we're using cleanse first, and we're going to let it really dwell the full length of time. As you see here, we're giving it a really good liberal coating, and you can see already it's starting, the dirt is really starting to run off onto the arch as well. So now we're on to the pre-clean stage, and for me this is the most important step of all the car cleaning. This is the product that is going to completely cover the car. This is the product that is going to do all the hard work, and this is the product that ultimately is going to make things easier for you. You'll notice here that I'm being really thorough in covering every panel nice and evenly. We want to ensure total coverage because, as I said, this is what's really doing the work. I am working my way around here, working from bottom to top. Doesn't really matter what way you go, but the most important thing is that by the time you're finished and made your way around, that you've got a complete even coating of the pre-clean product all of the car, and that it's going to dwell on it, and it's what's really going to do the work. Now we're on to the step that we all love to show off on Instagram. It's the Insta-worthy shaving foam thick layer of ultra foam or snow foam on the vehicle. Really what this is to do though, this is to allow the pre-clean product a longer time to work on it. The longer the product, the pre-clean product is on the vehicle, the more it is actually doing the work for you. It's softening the dirt, it's getting into all the nooks and crannies, but the problem is that on a sunny day or on a windy day like today was, it can dry out, and we don't want any product drying on the vehicle no matter how safe it is. So what a blanket of foam really does here is that it allows the pre-clean product a longer, safer dwell time. Now I've sped this video up about 4 times so you can see that the foam goes on thick and it stays on thick. I lost audio here, but basically what I'm doing is we're going to give the wheels a bit of a quick scrub round. So the cleanse is still on the wheels, the foam is allowing a longer, safer dwell time. So I'm giving the wheels basically the first clean. I'm using a wheel mitt dedicated for purely cleaning the dirty wheels. I'm using a wheel brush for cleaning around the tyres, and you'll see here that I'm starting to work my way inside the wheels. You can use wheel woolies, you can use brushes, but I just have a dedicated wheel mitt, and it was just handier for me to be able to do this. Now, we're highlighting this because this is what we really want to show you. This is what you should be seeing at this stage. You should be seeing the pre-clean product doing all its work, and the foam that's been dwelling for a few minutes at this stage has been really pulling all the dirt off it. I'm working my way around here, cleaning each wheel one at a time, and whilst I'm doing that there, I'm allowing the foam to dwell. But really, this is a really important step as well to allow everything time to sort itself out. Okay, so what you'll see here is we've cleaned and scrubbed the tyres. Another important thing that the Avas are really good at, and I have these in stock for anybody with an Ava or a Karcher K fitting, is underneath the arches is always good to get a proper clean. So as we're saying here, this is not an essential step, but it's something that's really handy to be able to do. The Avas are fantastic for this here, but not just Ava, there's other washers supply these kind of 90-degree angles. The dirt that had accumulated under here, I try and clean it every 4 to 6 weeks. And it really is, it just adds that extra wee step. And finally, we're on to the rinse stage. So think about things at this stage. Already we have put the pre-spray on the car, we've allowed it ample dwell time. We've then foamed the car and again allowed even more dwell time here. We've cleaned the wheels and we've cleaned under the arches, which, although it's not a mandatory step, was actually needed on this one here. And only now are we at the rinsing stage. So all told, there's been probably up to about 10 minutes worth of dwell time at this stage. So we really are, we're getting most of the dirt off the car before we go near it with a mitt. You'll notice as well that I am being quite methodical in the patterns and the shape of which I'm following. I'm obviously working from the bottom to the top because it's easier. You can keep an eye on where you're going.
I'm cleaning side to side and up and down. This is just really to ensure that I've got like complete coverage everywhere along it. Yeah, you can see here my OCD where I'm working up and down straight lines. I'm just showing that there's a very distinct difference between the parts that we've cleaned and washed versus the parts that we haven't cleaned and washed. I said, you'll see how slow and how methodical I'm really being in this here. And this, coupled with the pre-clean stage, this is so important because this is what is getting rid of, as we say, about 90 to 95% of the dirt of the vehicle. Okay, so I paused this to do a walk around. It hasn't really dried off fully yet, but you can see a really distinct 50-50. But what you will also see very distinctly is that we have got rid of at least 90 to 95% dirt. So obviously there's some here where I've messed with the power washer, but this is where it actually doesn't do any harm. Right. Still some around the bonnet. But again, for a touchless wash, yeah, okay, so I haven't rinsed around here, so we can still see some wee marks. But at this stage, we're about 95% clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off rinsing off this back bit, then I'm going to give it a coat of the Puro foam all over it, and then I'm going to wash it in a bucket. And I'm going to show you the difference with what I do with my bucket versus what you may do with your bucket. Doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's wrong, it's just the way I do it. Okay, so before we start the wash, we're going to get a measure into our bucket. Water is warm, but and here you'll see we've added the Measure Puro into the bucket. All I'm doing here is I'm just basically adding some cold water into the warm water just to foam it and set it up. So now is one of the stages where I may do things slightly different than you. That doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's wrong, it's just the way I do it. You'll see here I've added Puro through the foam cannon to add an extra layer of lubricity to basically work hand in hand with the bucket of Puro I have. You'll also see that I am only using one bucket. I'm not using a dedicated rinse bucket, but that's because, as you may notice, I've got more than one wash mitt in the bucket. I'm washing panel by panel. I'm rinsing it out every time and then cleaning it off before I put it back in the bucket and lift a clean wash mitt out for doing the next panel. Again, we're working in a logical fashion. We're working side to side or up and down, not a combination of both. Rinsing out every single time, dropping it in the bucket and lifting out a new clean wash mitt. And here we go, we're on to the rinse stage. So we finished washing the car manually and we're rinsing down, as you can see, from top to bottom. Again, following a methodical pattern, we're just rinsing everything off, getting all the wee nooks, crannies, everything done and dusted. This is the satisfying stage of it. Okay, so we're just doing a quick walk around to show that after final rinse, we've got the clean car, we've got rid of all the dirt, all the grime, all the soiling, the heavy soiling, the light soiling. And remember, this car was stinking. We'd done 650 miles. This was the arch that was just bogging, and there we go. We see everything is properly cleaned off it. Nice, clean finish. And now we're on to the final stage of this wash. We're now going to be applying the HydroCoat by way of foam cannon. As I said, I find the foam cannon easy to do because it's been designed to work with the foam cannon. However, if you don't have a foam cannon or a spare beaker with your foam cannon, you can use your existing foam cannon. If you don't have any foam cannons whatsoever, then by all means you can dilute it at 20 parts water to 1 part chemical and spray it on by a normal trigger spray. You'll see here I'm literally just giving every surface of the vehicle just a thorough coating of it. I normally start at the bottom and work my way up, get it over the roof, get over everything. It takes me around a minute or so to work the whole way around it. But after we've done this here, the important bit is allowing it time to dwell, allowing the product up to 5 or 6 minutes really to sit in. This section has been sped up at like 10 times. We've basically got around 3 to 4 minutes worth of dwell time on here. And what you may see I'm doing in the background here is I'm also coming around and giving the wheels just a second wash. This is with the remainder of the shampoo. So even though the wheels have had a good thorough deep clean already, there's sometimes residue in that they're left behind, or this just being really particular about things. So some of the Puro shampoo I've left in the bucket, I've got an old wash mitt, and whilst the HydroCoat is dwelling on the car and bonding to the paintwork, I'm now going around just giving the wheels that final last touch, just to make sure that when we come to the very last rinse stage, when we're taking off the coating, the wheels are as clean as they can possibly be, inside, outside, backs of the barrels, faces of the wheels, everything. And here we go, we're on to the final rinse, sped up again, because as you'll see, I am working from bottom to top this time. The reason we do that there is because we want to make sure that we've got all of the HydroCoat of the surface of the vehicle. As I said, it's a polymer sealant. You're going to see me grabbing here just to show the water behaviour. It's a polymer based sealant, and it works by sticking to the finish. You'll see here the water behaviour. So it's really nice. It's spray on, water just falls off it. You'll see there I just love it. I know I show this product all the time and people get to see it, but the results just kind of astound me every time I do it. It brings in a level of glossiness, a depth to the finish, and of course the hydrophobic behaviour of the water. Just set the camera up. Look at that for an ass. Just set the camera up so as I can now go and rinse off the other side. You'll see again, we're just doing the same thing. It's just very methodical. We're working from bottom to top, just to make sure that we get all the sealant off the panel. As you can see here, we're in the business park, so there's people in and out all the time, and that's Jimmy. He's a Kilcoo all-star. He might have got soaked a wee bit there by accident. Yeah, so we rinsed everything bottom to top, and then just to give a final rinse off, we then do from top to bottom, just to make sure that the surface is completely finished. Here I am telling him he's going to be appearing on YouTube and Instagram. He's hiding. It's good to have a wee bit of fun at work sometimes, so it is as well. I'll not even tell you what he called me. And here we go now. This is the final walk round, showing the results of a proper clean, a proper wash. Bearing in mind, this wasn't a decontamination wash. This was your regular clean the wheels, clean the body, foam it down, give it a wash, and give it a coat of protection. And look at those beads. Tight beads, big beads, small beads. It really is fantastic, and that's what HydroCoat does. So look, there we go. I hope this has been informative. I hope that you can see that using the correct products, the correct techniques, the correct dilution rates, that you can achieve really, really, really good results. Really quite simply. This isn't difficult. It's not teaching anybody anything that we don't know already. It's just showing you possibly a different way of looking at it and a different way of trying it. But like, these are the results you can get, and I love it, and I love sharing it, and I love showing people just how good it is. So look, thank you very much for anybody who stuck it to 25 minutes of listening to me and watching me. Genuinely appreciate it. Drop your comments and anything else we can help with. I'm only too happy to try. Thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate it.